Mm. Good morning, good morning. Just getting on 5 minutes early so that I can make sure that everything's working. It's really cold in the kitchen this morning, so I wanted to make sure that the laptop was not going to play up. So hope you've had a good week. I don't know where the time's gone. I'm trying to see how many are on. I think it's 13. It's flying up at the moment. Yes. Dave is just sending me a message to say, is it working? Thankfully it is. So today we're doing sweet corn, tuna sweet corn pasta bake, and then we're going to be making some shortbread, heart-shaped shortbread, and we're going to finish off with making some pancakes, because I'm sure the pancakes are going to get devoured right away. So first things first, if you're going to eat the tuna bake for dinner, which is the Cornish word for at 12, between 12 and 1, then you need to put your oven on, and it needs to be on at 180 degrees centigrade or 160 if it's a fan, or gas mark 4. So you need to get that warm. Hopefully you've got your pasta made. You've boiled your pasta and it's part boiled, because it will still cook when it's in the mixture. So if you haven't got your pasta cooked, you need to get it on as soon as possible to try and catch up. Why is everybody sending me messages now? Everybody's happy on there. I'm gonna ask you, is everything working all right? Because I'm wondering why so many people are ringing me. Let's have a look and see if there's any messages. J and B are on. G's on. Kyla Horrell's on. Good morning. Tony's on. Right, okay, so is everything working okay, people? Are we all happy that you can see me and you can hear me? And if I can get a yes from somebody, that would be fabulous. And then, I don't know what time it is, we'll get ready to crack on. Morning, Tamsin. So last night I did the part of the Mr. and Mrs. quiz for the Merlin out at Sticker, and Tamsin helps to raise money out there. So morning to Tamsin, because it just seems to be one thing after another at the moment piling up. I'm going to have a look at the messages again. I need a telescope. All good. Lisa's on. Yeah, all piling in there now. So hopefully we are good to go. It's a minute 2. So first thing we do every week is we clean down. So we make sure everything is germ free before we start. So I've got my cleaner, antibacterial cleaner, to make sure that the top is nice and clean. And of course, while we're cooking, we always make sure that we re-clean to get all the residue of the food off before we do anything else. So that's looking good. And the next thing we do is wash our hands. I always make up a nice big bowl of soapy water before we start, so that every time I've got greasy or dirty hands, I can go there and wash them quickly, so that it saves me having to mess around too much. So we've got a couple of seconds, I think. So just to say, next week we're going to be doing spaghetti bolognese, and all of you that are on the in the cookery club, as I would say, you've all had your mints given to you in your bags this week. So next week you won't have to come down to pick anything up. So it's spaghetti bolognese, and we're going to make a fruit crumble. So you've already got your recipe for fruit crumble. You do need to get your fruit, so up to you what you buy. And you've got everything for the spag bowl, but I will be doing new recipe cards, and you will be getting them. Anybody that has come on late to this, if they contact me, they can have a complete set of the laminated recipe cards that I'm doing. And if you want to join us and you're local, in the PL24 area, then I can add you to my cookery school list, and you can come down and collect some ingredients from us, and that was free of charge. So without further ado, I think it's time for us to get on. So we're going to start making the tuna and pasta bake. Now, I'm hoping that you've all cooked your pasta. If you haven't, somebody's going to have to catch up a few minutes later, because you need to make sure that your pasta is cold. Right, where are we doing? Where's my bowl? There we are. There's my bowl. So I'm going to put that in there. So this was cooked about half an hour ago. It's part cooked, because the pasta will still soak up some of the juice that's going to be in the tuna and sweet corn bake. So it's cool, but it's cooked and ready to go. This is pretty simple if you want to make something fairly quick. Obviously, because of the time constraints on a Saturday morning, I try to make it as easy as possible for you. So it said 600 grams of pasta. I made one last night to check out how much it's going to make. Let's get this one out to show you. And it makes a whopping great tray of tuna and pasta bake. This one's ready to eat. Now, if it's not for a whole family of 4, it might be that you want to cut the recipe back. So now is the time to do it. If you think that you would rather have less pasta, which is what I've done 400 grams of pasta. I'm still going to be putting in the 2 cans of the 1 can of sweet corn and the 2 of tuna, but it's just not so much bulk in the pasta. So first thing you need to do is weigh out 50 grams of margarine. Now you're wondering why I'm not doing that, because I've had to cut a corner here. So if you cut out your 50 grams of margarine and put it in a saucepan. When you've done that, we're going to put it on the heat, not too high. You don't want to be frying the butter, you want to be melting it. So I've just melted my butter already, so that it's not going to be, I'm not going to be out of shot so long. I thought that I was going to have a wingman this morning, and that Dave was going to be running around with the camera so you could see what I was doing. But unfortunately, he's been called away, so I'm doing it myself. So get your margarine melted. I'm going to put mine back on the heat now, so it won't take too long to get hot. And while that is happening, there's 2 of you, somebody just needs to keep an eye on the pan at the moment. Measure yourself out 50 grams of plain flour. So I've got mine in my pan, and I've just literally measured it out, so it's all ready to go when the margarine is warm. You also need to measure out 600 mils of milk, because this is what's going to make the sauce. Now, the posh name for this sauce is a roux, and it's the base for a lot of things. So I learned to make a roux when I was young, when I was at school, and I've used it thousands and thousands of times, because you can make a cheese sauce from it. I add chicken stock when I'm making a chicken and ham pie, and it just makes a lovely sauce. I use it when I'm making carbonara rather than use cream, because it's not so calorific, and it's a lot cheaper to make. Something that we mostly will make in a few weeks' time. So a roux is a good thing to know how to make, because it thickens things and it sort of binds everything together. So I'm going to have a quick look at my butter. I'm going to put that there and hopefully try and keep some heat in the pan. Yeah. So hopefully you've all got your butter melted now. Now I've got a wooden spoon, my special wooden spoon that Owen gave me, and I'm going to tip the flour into the marge. And now you need to keep stirring and stirring, and it will turn it into like a glue, like a paste. I'll show you in a minute when I've got mine into a paste, because this is the fun part. I'm live. Right, okay. So now it's turned it into a paste. So we're now going to add a bit of milk. Now you need to do this slowly to make the sauce. I'm going to need to put this back on the heat very shortly. So just start blending it in slowly or you're going to slosh the milk everywhere. It'll look a bit lumpy, but you've got to keep working the mixture. Now I'm going to put mine on my heat a minute because I need to get some warmth back into this mixture. So keep adding and keep stirring. Where's my keep mixing it in. It's quite a lot of milk, and it'll start to thicken when you get it to mix in. Seems like a lot of milk actually. It must be right. Give that a stir. Right. Just 1 second, I got somebody here.
I'm just being curious what you're making.
Right, okay. So keep adding the milk. It is going to be a bit time consuming, but once you get the milk in, you'll make your sauce. Right, so I've managed to blend all my paste into the milk. And now the heat will start to make it thicken. Some heat on it. It's going to take a little bit of time now. Just keep stirring it, making sure it's not sticking to the bottom of the pan. So if somebody is stirring, somebody else can open the tins of tuna and sweet corn and strain the juice out of it. I know there's several families there are more than one cooking, so you can apportion jobs hopefully, or a responsible adult can do it. They say a watched pot never boils, and because I want it to boil or to get hot quickly, it won't. Come on. Is anybody starting to thicken? Hopefully so. This is what's going to coat the pasta and the tuna and everything in a minute. And this is what it's going to make the pasta bake out of. See mine going a little bit now. Getting hotter. What you don't want to do is to make it boil, to make sure that your ring is not on full, because it will just stick to the bottom of the pan and go black. Come on. How are we all doing, people? I'm sorry I'm out of sight. some of you might have got your sauce made quicker than me. It's taken far too long. I'm going to have a quick look and see if anybody's leaving any messages while that's stirring. Not thickening yet. No, nor is mine. I'm going to have to keep stirring a minute because I've done what it says on the recipe and I did it last night and it thickened really quickly. It goes all of a sudden. Ah, mine's going. Mine's going now and it's going like a thick custard. Yeah. Hopefully everybody else is going as well. It takes a little bit of a time to get it to go, but when it does, it goes quickly. So keep stirring or else you're going to have lumpy sauce. Yeah, mine's going thick really quickly now. I shall be with you very shortly when I make sure that I've cooked out the flour. Brilliant. Right, I'm going to move mine now and I'm going to show you what it looks like. So it looks a bit like custard, but very, 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 very pale. So hopefully you've got to that point. If you haven't, keep stirring, keep the faith because it will go. Now we need to put in some grated cheese. This is 250 grams. Go on, steaming up. 250 grams of cheese to go in the sauce. So we are making a cheese sauce basically, but you need to keep a little bit back because you want to put some on the top. Okay, so I'm going to keep a little bit to sprinkle on the top. And hopefully your sauce is thickened. And when it has thickened, you put the cheese in. You should put it back on the heat just for a minute then to make sure that it melts the cheese and thickens it. Let's, I'm going to have another look at the messages now to see how we're doing. Let's have a quick look. No, still not. Right, well, it should be going thick now, people. If you've got the heat up. Mine has gone, so keep the faith because I've got exactly the same in my pot that you've got in yours. Once you master a roux, you'll know how to make it and it'll be easy. I mean, I don't even bother to measure things out normally. I have today because I wanted to make sure that the recipe was right because I made one last night. Now I'm mixing in my cheese and it's melting in the sauce now. I'm just going to have to put it back on the heat in a minute just to get the rest of the cheese to go into the sauce. But we're now looking like this. So hopefully yours is gone. Please tell me if it's not, because I will suggest putting an extra couple of ounces of flour, but I don't really want to do that if I can help it. It's all gone very quiet out there. Everybody is stirring away, making that sauce. Millie's is ready and has answered you. Oh, good. Right, okay. Not thickening, Natasha. How is it going now? I'm just going to give mine a minute on the heat to put the heat back into it to melt the cheese. Lovely. Okay. Can I have a quick look at the messages, because I'm hoping that somebody's told me that they've got their... Oh, it's starting to go. Well done, Natasha. I know it seems like it's forever, but once it goes really quickly. So make sure that you're really, really mixing it, because you don't want it to get stuck on the bottom. Now, if it's a bit thick and gloopy, and you would prefer to have a sauce that's not so gloopy, you can also add an extra little bit of milk. I'm just going to add a little bit to mine in a minute. Another sort of like couple of ounces of milk. Let's give that a stir in, because you want the sauce to coat your pasta. Okay. So now I've got the thick white sauce. You've removed it from the heat, and you've added 250 grams of grated cheese. So now basically you've got a sauce that you could cook a cauliflower and make cauliflower cheese. So the great thing about making a roux is once you know how to do it, there's lots of things that you can cook with it. Right, so that's good to go now. Hopefully we're all caught up now. So we now put the pasta in the sauce. Give it a good stir, coat the pasta with all the sauce. That lovely cheese sauce, blimey, look at that. That's looking lovely. So the one I made yesterday was gluten-free, dairy-free. So that's for somebody today, because I can't eat 2 tuna and sweet corn pasta bakes in one day. Now, so you should have drained 2 tins of tuna and a tin of sweet corn, and we're going to put that in the mixture and give it a good stir. Okay, I'm going to put the tuna in. So I've drained off the juice. Be careful of your fingers, for God's sake. Right, in goes the tuna. Get the last bits out and get them in. This is really nutritious. And the second one goes in. And then in goes the sweet corn. And now you need to give it a good stir. I'm going to use my wood spoon again now, because I've been using a balloon whisk, and all it does is clog it up, which is already done. Let's get all the mixture out of the balloon whisk, because I don't want to waste it. So hopefully you've got a nice big dish to pour this into in a minute, once we've given it a good stir. Smells lovely. Right, so giving that a good stir, so it's white, pink and yellow, and that's ready to go into a dish. Now I'm going to put in one of these. Drop there. Make sure you're washing your hands, keeping them clean. Now you need to pour your mixture into your dish. It's a bit claggy at the moment. And spread it out in the dish. Now I cut back the pasta from 600 to 400 grams, and this is still a big tin full of tuna pasta bake. So it might be. I know that Natasha, she takes some to Granny. Granny always reports back every week to tell me what she thought of the cooking, and it's always amazing. So it's a nice treat for her. There we are. Now spread it out and flatten it out. Get it ready for the bake. If you're having it for lunch, I expect you'll be putting it in now. I'm saying lunch now because some of you won't know what I'm talking about if I say dinner. The Cornish way is dinner and tea. There, flatten that out. Now, with the last of the cheese that you've kept, sprinkle that on top. And if you're going to have it for dinner, you can get it in the oven now. But if it's for later, then I would suggest you set it aside so that it's cooked fresh later on. There, that's the main meal done. And you can see there is messages coming up, so I'm gonna just put this out the way a minute and come back and read them. Okay, let's have a look at the messages. Pigs has got it, brilliant. We've got a thick sauce. Oh, I love it, love it, love it. Hi from Freya. Charlene's there. Lunch and dinner in our house. There you are, see. It's dinner and tea in my house. Confuses the hell out of people, but there you are. So we've done the tuna sweet corn bake. That's ready to go in the oven. You're either going to cook it now or you're going to cook it later. So I'm going to move on. I'm going to wipe down everything now. My blue paper and spray. Make sure that it's all clean because we're going to be doing something different now. I hope you're all excited about the pancakes. I'm looking forward to having a pancake in a minute. There we are, all cleaned down again. Make sure your hands are free as well and clean. I'm just using the same bowl, so I'm giving it a quick wash out so that I keep on top of my dishes as I go. If I use the same bowl, it means at the end of it I've only got one bowl to wash and not many. So while I'm doing that, just to say that next week we're making the spag bowl and the fruit crumble. But the week after, it's coming up to St. Piran's Day. So we're going to do some Cornish cookery. And the first week, we're going to make Cornish splits and Fairings biscuits. Now, Cornish splits were what I used to have jam and cream on. It was always a jam and cream split when I was young. We never used to have scones. I don't know where they came from, but it was always jam and cream splits. And the following week, we're actually going to have a go at making saffron buns. So at the moment, I'm trying to track down some saffron. And then we're going to make some saffron buns because they are proper traditional. I've got a clean bowl. Okay. So we're going to make the shortbread next. Hopefully you've managed to get a heart shape cutter, or you've made one out of a I think it was a Coke bottle. So I cut it out and I bent it in half. And I bent this piece outwards and this piece inwards and pushed so that it made it a natural heart shape. Or you can make it out of sort of like an inch thick of one of those milk bottles, 4-point jugs. This one, I haven't put any sellotape on it because I won't be using this one. It was just more of a case to show you what you could do to make cutters. If you like cooking and you want to make more biscuits, then maybe it's something you want to ask for if for your birthday or for Easter or something, some cookie cutters, because it's nice to be able to make some different shapes. I made some bird ones yesterday and I also made some round ones. I'll just show you one of each. So these are also gluten-free, so that's why these aren't heart-shaped. So I made some little birds and I used a little currant for his eye, and I made some just little round ones, and I put in the glassy cherries and some little bits of sugar. So those are a gift for somebody today. And I know that I put in a couple of bags for you so that you could make gifts as well if you wanted to. Right, so we're starting the shortbread. This is really easy and really quick. So you need 125 grams of butter or margarine, and you need to cut it into squares because it's easier to blend in if you cut it up small. So get your butter cut into little squares, and we need 180 grams of plain flour. So that's 20. I hate these scales. I forgot my scales this morning and I can't hardly read the writing on these. So I'm going to have a good scrutiny at this a minute. Carry on, cut your butter up and everything. And I'll have to try and sort myself out here. So if I try ounces, that might help me. Just a little bit too much there, right? Okay. Okay, so flour in the bowl. The cubed marg in next. And remember when we made pastry the other day and we used the ends of our fingers like that? We're back to that. So you need to blend the marg or the butter into the flour. Keep using the ends of your fingers so that you turn it into what looks like breadcrumbs. Same as we did with the flour. There's more fat involved in shortbread though. Take a couple of minutes of rubbing in. You cannot imagine how cold it is here. Keep rubbing it in. It's starting to get a bit thicker now. I'll show you. The breadcrumbs is getting thicker and the flour and the butter are starting to stick together. So when you get to that, you need to put your sugar in. I need to get rid of that flour first. Right, okay. So flour is 55 grams. Flour, not. Sugar is 55 grams. Okay. So now that goes into the mixture. And you start doing what you've just done again, but now you're blending the sugar in with it. And now it's starting to stick together. Mine's not liking it a lot because it is so cold here and my hands are so cold. Now you can start squeezing it now because it's going to start going into one big piece. moving it. Should be nearly in one piece now, people. And it's called shortbread because it is quite crumbly. Gonna have to work it a little bit in a minute. Right, okay. So now I've got one big piece. One big piece. I'm going to clean up all the crumbs a minute. Make sure the top is tidy and clean. And you need a little bit of extra flour now. So it's the same as we did with the pastry the other day. You need to put some flour on your top so that it doesn't stick. And then put your mixture on the flour. Put a bit of flour on the top. And wash my hands a minute because I'm a bit glued up. That's better. Get my rolling pin. I'm going to start rolling out the mixture. So it looks a bit like pastry, feels a bit thicker than the pastry. And you want to cut it out until it's about 1 centimetre thick. I think that's pretty good. Get my tray. So on my tray I've got a piece of parchment paper so that the biscuits don't stick. And with my cutter I'm going to cut out some parts. Just going to do a little bit more. My centimetre is a bit dodgy. Are we all ready to start cutting out? Now I gave you some nice bags, little clear fronted bags with your recipe items last week, just in case anybody wanted to give their biscuits to anybody, maybe their neighbour or their granny and granddad or mum and dad. It's Valentine's Day tomorrow. So you've got some nice gift bags to put them in. You might want to give them to your neighbour and put them on their door and run away so that it's a surprise. They don't know who's giving them biscuits for Valentine's Day. I've done some quite thick shortbread today. Now you need to push it all together like you did with your pastry last week. Make sure you've still got some flour. Work it all back together into a bowl. And then re-roll again. You might have to work it a little bit to make sure that the mixture doesn't crack too much. You'll have to tell me in the comments later who you're giving your heart-shaped biscuits to. I'm looking forward to some lovely pictures. Okay, so you should get about 8 biscuits out of the mixture, and it looks like that I'm going to be smack on with that. Now you can do what you like with these. I mean, I've done plain shortbread today, but you could melt some chocolate and you could half dip the heart so that half is chocolate and half is just biscuit. Or if you make them again, you can put some chocolate chips in there. In fact, have I got any chocolate chips? Let me have a look and see if I've got any. Oh, I have some chocolate chips left. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make a well in my shortbread. I'm just going to put a few chocolate chips in there and work them in the dough. So I've got a couple of chocolate chip hearts, but I'm not sure that I want to give them away. Oh, that looks lovely. Chocolate chippies in my biscuits. So we're working it back into a ball again before we roll it out so that it stays in one piece. How exciting! Chocolate chips in the shortbread. Oh, they look lovely. Make one more, I think, out of that. And because I've not got a lot of mixture left, what I'm going to do is, rather than roll it out, I'll put my cutter down the bottom, and I'm going to press the mixture down with my thumbs so that it fits the cutter. So there's no waste then. So you push it down nice and neat. There, that's my last heart-shaped cookie. I'm going to push it out of the mould, but it's still the right shape. So I'm going to make room for that one on there. So there you are. I've made 8 shortbread hearts. Hopefully you've made about the same. Just have a bit of a clean up. Now they can go in the oven now if you want, if you've got somebody to keep an eye on them, because I'm sure that everybody's going to want a nice hot biscuit. And they're going to go in for 190 degrees centigrade, gas mark 5, and they're going to be in there for about 15 minutes until they go nice and brown. Okay, so here we are again, back to the cleaning down. Are we all doing out there? I hope we're all keeping up and I'm not going too fast. Back to the cleaning. It's going to be quite sticky now, I suspect, because of doing the biscuits, so you might need to give it a good wipe down. So these are things that you can do another time, because obviously the videos are going up on the St Blazey Recycle Reuse page, or the Councillor Pauline Giles page, or actually Pauline Giles's page. So there's lots of places that you can access these afterwards. So if you've got the recipe card but you're a little bit sort of unsure about doing it just on your own the first couple of times, you can always go back in and see the video as well. Or if there's other people that you know would be interested in giving it a go, then they can also access them. Right, that's me done the cleaning. Now we're going to have a hand wash and a bowl clean, because I need to use the bowl again. That's the thing about cooking, it's preparation and cleaning afterwards. It's not just making the food, it's making the mess afterwards. So for me, this is the exciting part now, because we're going to make pancakes. And I wonder if there's going to be anybody out there that's going to be brave enough to try and toss a pancake. And if they are, I need a video of it. I need to see you all tossing the pancakes. So it's Shrove Tuesday, next Tuesday. And I suspect a lot of you will have bought the packets or the bottles that you can just add to. but it's all about the waste in the environment. So if you're buying the plastic bottles with the batter in there, just think about how quickly it makes batter when you do it from a bag and you've got it home, and how much cheaper it is to do it from home. You've got to start thinking about the planet and stop all this plastic waste. Right, here we go again. So pancakes. So we need to put in there 100 grams of flour. Oh, these dreadful, dreadful scales. Right. Now some of you might double the amount if you like pancakes. If there's lots of you. So we're going to put the flour. I need my balloon whisk, so I better watch that one a minute. So we have the flour in there. We have 2 large eggs. Oh, look at that. I measured the flour out last night, forgot myself. Actually, I'll do it that way because then I know that it's right. Sometimes I do too much work. So that's the right amount of flour because I measured it on my own scales last night. I'm going to add the 2 eggs to the flour. Nice fresh eggs. $300 ml of milk. And a little bit of cooking oil. Just a little tiny, tiny, tiny bit. Just a little tiny, tiny bit. There we are. Just going to get my frying pan ready because this will all happen really, really quickly. And then you need to whisk it. Some of you maybe have an electric whisk, or I've got a balloon whisk using, or you might even just have a wood spoon. But you need to give this a real good whisking so you won't put any lumps in your batter. And the difference between this batter and what you would use if you were making Yorkshire puddings, which is the same thing, but you wouldn't add so much milk. Because pancake batter is always about being nice and thin and runny so that you can put it in a pan. Now I wonder what you're going to be putting on your pancakes. So the traditional is lemon and sugar. When I was young, I used to like the treacle that we put in the flapjacks. Or you can also put in Nutella. I'm quite fond of having a Nutella and sliced banana pancake. Let's move all this out of the way. A quick look at the messages to make sure that I'm not leaving anybody behind. We're going Batman ones. Oh, Batman! Blimey. Somebody's made Batmans. Batman biscuits. Right, so now you need to prepare your frying pan. You only need a little bit of fat in there because you don't want greasy pancakes. They're not nice. So I've got the smallest amount of fat in my pan to make sure that they don't stick. I am put that on the ring a minute to get it warm. It won't take long to get hot. And then I'll show you how to put your batter in the pan and spread it. And you need a little, well, I'll use this one actually. Another one of Owen's gifts to me. Another little, so make sure I can get underneath the pancake. You can see messages coming up. So the batter's ready to go. So frying pans are ready. Owen has a bit of lemon. Yeah, I like lemon on my pancakes as well. And the good thing is Dave is away for the day. So if I make 6 pancakes, I will have to eat them. Right, so that's nice, that's ready. My pan is getting warm. Obviously I've got to take mine off the heat because I'm not near the ring. So bearing in mind you're going to make about 6 pancakes, pour some batter in your pan, depending on what size your thing is, and it should coat the bottom of your frying pan. Now I think I might have a little bit too much fat in there for the first pancake, but I'm going to be making big pancakes because I've got quite a big frying pan here. I'm going to put this one on the heat a minute. If you've poured your batter in, you can put your pancake on the heat as well. Make sure you've got an implement so that you can turn it halfway, but make sure it's sort of bubbling and it's brown on both sides. Whoa, I'm very excited. How are we doing, people? I want to see some pictures. Mine's starting to bubble, so I'm going to have to turn it soon. But you get the concept here. So you're going to keep doing that, making pancakes in a minute. I'm going to show you mine. Might even try and throw one up in the air. You won't see where it lands, obviously, because you can only just see the top of my head. So if it sticks to the ceiling, it don't matter because you won't be able to see it anyway. But I'd like to see some pictures of you with your pancakes. That'd be good. Some of you will be in the PL24 magazine this month in your montage of pictures from your cooking, which would be lovely. So I didn't choose who went in there, so it was completely fair to make sure that I didn't upset anybody. And if I did miss somebody, then we'll make sure that next time you're in there as well. So I'm going to have a quick look at this pancake. Yeah, it's gone solid. Make sure that it's not sticking around the side, just make sure that it's moving a little bit. So it's changing colour now. If you look at it, it's starting to look a bit white where it's cooking, and you can see a lot of bubbles in it. So you just need to make sure that you leave it for a minute, and then when it starts sort of like going put, and you can see that there's air underneath it, that means that it's getting cooked. So it's nearly time to turn it over. Just going to see if I can do mine to show you. Yeah, definitely going solid now. It's not sliding yet. When it's cooked, starting to cook underneath, it should be able to slide in your pan a little bit. So if it's still not sliding, then it's not quite ready to flip yet. Yeah, it's on the go. Mine is nearly ready to flip over. So yours should be solid by now. I'll just give you a quick look. It's gone solid. I can tip it up now. Look, it's still sticking at the moment. Hopefully it's not going to stick to the pan because that's going to be dreadful. But you can see it's changed colour and it's solidified. So we're nearly there with a pancake, people. I would be using my own equipment. Right. Has anybody got their first pancake done? Because mine's taken a long time. Gonna have a quick look and see if there's any comments in here. See if anybody has got their first pancake sorted. Not yet. So I need to decide what I'm going to have on my pancake. Ooh. What shall I have? Oh my word, oh my word. So you can also, I know that you've got some left, you've got some of the chocolate chips left, you've got some of your marshmallows left, hopefully, so you can put them in there, or you've got your chocolate spread. I think I'm ready to start turning mine over. Didn't pick the best pan by the looks of things. Okay, so I've turned mine over, and you can see that side is a little bit on the brown side, which is ideal. That's what it should look like. So same on the other side. What to do. Right, mine's nearly ready, I think, and I'm going to see if I can toss it up in the air without making a complete chunk of myself. Right. I don't know what's going to happen here, people, but we're going to give it a go. Whee! And he's up the other way now. So see if you can toss your pancakes. I want to see later on what you've put in your pancakes. I think this one's going to have Nutella in it, and it might even have a piece of banana. Now, if my daughter's watching, she's going to be going, nah, because she doesn't like bananas. But while she's not here, I have to make the most of it. So there you have it. So your pancakes are made. You're all hopefully throwing them up in the air and catching them. And I'm going to have a quick look at the messages. So don't forget, it's spag bowl next week. And fruit crumble. So you're going to need to get some fruit for that, or you can use some of the tins that I've given you. We are so far behind, but still going. Well done, Laura. Millie's flipped, hooray! Yes, it was a nice toss. I was really lucky. I was very lucky that it ended back into the pan. So, yeah, want to see lots of pictures later on. I'm going to cook the rest of mine when I get home, because I've decided that I want lemon, and there's no lemon here. So that's the problem. It's all at home. So I hope you've enjoyed yourself once more. Make sure you've got to clean up your mess before you go and sit down with your pancakes, because you're a responsible adult, shouldn't be left with all your mess. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to seeing all your pictures later on. Tuna and pasta bake for sweet corn pasta bake for tea. So that will fill everybody up, and hopefully they'll enjoy it. So that's another week in the can. I'll see you next week. Hope you have a good week and a good weekend. Bye now.